the major outcomes of this crisis is that it has made the invisible of the city very visible. There is a huge awareness now of the construct of a city, the dependencies of a community in a city. With climate change, and we really have to start thinking of the impact of climate change and designing towards it. Because, when we think of the life cycle of a building, we're talking about 50 years, 80 years. We are not going to have the resources or the temperatures that we experience today, 20 years from now. Even 5 years from now, we will see dramatic changes.
Several promising initiatives, platforms, consultancies, dialogues, innovation startups, and tech-led initiatives have been kicking in to power this change all over the world and in India as well. Introducing new and well thought out practices, including but not limited to changing fashion supply chain from a linear one to a circular one, based on sustainability goals, requires a huge amount of money. It was challenging and slow enough to get them to invest while the going was good. We may be in a further challenging situation at the present time as companies shut down and others, try to make their businesses survive, reevaluate spends over the next few years.
Terms that come to mind are zero wastage, slower production schedules, fair wage, and such. We have very fair practices. We have minimum wastage, and on every loom that we produce about 22 scarves or stoles on one loom. There is usually one that is wasted, and that waste product is reimagined in this little zippy pouch.
There are a few advantages to recycled ceramics. One major advantage is that we can mix any colored waste ceramics together to recycle it, and we yet get a neutral color at the end of it so that we can have new color for the recycled product. We can start innovating a future beyond plastic by thoughtfully choosing our materials.
For us at Maline, working with traditional craftsmen was essential because, for us the most important thing was to develop a material that has very good ecological credentials, which means we didn't want to wear anything of aggressive chemical nature, anything synthetic, any plastics in our material. Fashion is a wonderful carrier of such a change, not only because it's one of the most polluting industries in the world, but also because it's been able to admit that it has problems. To be very honest, in order to be 100% sustainable, we probably shouldn't be making anything at all, because we already have a stock of anything and everything in fashion for the next couple of years, maybe even next 10 years.
How do I push jewelry and how do I make it more appropriate to today's current environment? So the idea of making it recyclable just sparked onto my mind, and I was like, okay, I have a lot of metal waste from my previous work, so I was going to melt that metal and use it. I think that overall design, fashion, lifestyle design is moving to be more conscious, because not only is the consumer asking the right questions, but also the designer is more aware of the impact of creating and wasting. So we're all in this together, and we realize that as designers we have a certain responsibility to create product, but to create product that is meaningful, that has a positive impact on the environment, and something that is conscious.
We anchor our story in the traditional idea of the Hindu trinity of gods. Instead of describing Shiva's role as the almighty destroyer, I show how we, the human species, are destroying the earth, polluting the rivers, melting the glaciers, even killing each other in the name of race and religion.
What did this journey of making an underwater film do to me? Yes, definitely I am in love with ocean more than ever before. But I also discovered beyond this beauty, beyond this, there are more life underwater than even land. Beyond all that, I closely witnessed the threat we as humans are doing to the oceans. In the film, there is a scene where Uma says, the sea looks so blue and beautiful, but only when we go underwater, we really see what is happening out there. The plastic, the sewage, the industrial pollution, the increasing global warming, the frequent global bleaching events are all threatening the life underwater. But as humans, for the first time, I think it gave our life took a pause and acknowledged the anthropogenic effects we are doing to the nature.